Welcome back to Dave's Gardening Channel. It is a beautiful Sunday here in the DC area, mid 70s, mid humidity, nothing terrible. I'm not totally soaked, and I've been doing a whole bunch of woodworking, cutting out 5 of these with my router bit and then drilling out the center with my hole saw bit. Now that I got that done, I've got my 23-gallon tubs. And I am going to take, well, I've already taken the 5 tomato plants that were in the NFT downspout tubes, and one of them I was able to get in the nutrient solution and with the lid, and then the other ones I didn't want the roots to dry out, so I just shoved the roots in. This has water in it to keep them wet. Now I'm going to be hosing out these 3, filling them up with water, doing the NFT chemicals up, and I'm also going to have to drill the holes for the trellising too. So let the party begin on this gardening Sunday. I'm gonna garden, oh yes I am. I'm gonna garden best I can. I'm gonna garden, yes I am. Gardening the best I can. There's my gardening song. All right, these are hosed out. They get heavy when they get the water, so I gotta hopefully position them properly within my sun belt. Gotta fill them up with water. In you go. Now I'm gonna go get the drill. I have a little drilling left. I have to drill the holes for the upright trellis rods. They need to get drilled. The water gets to the level I like. I drill the first 1/4-inch hole where I want it to stop, and then the water will raise up to there. Then I drill 1 or 2 other ones. The reason why it's important is unless you measure, and you don't have to measure, but if you did, you'd have to measure the line to be perfect. The easier way to do it is drill your first hole, let the water go up to that. The water will draw your line of where you put maybe 1 or 2 extra drain holes, and then you've got to wait for your air roots to not get suffocated. All right, I'm back. I got my 2 drills. This is a little bit less than, I think those posts are 11 millimeters. So I use like a 10 or a 9.5 millimeter drill bit, although it doesn't say 9.5, it's some fraction. And I'll try to figure out and put it in the description, but I want it to be slightly smaller than the diameter of this so it doesn't pull out easily. And like I said before, in order to save my air roots, what I do is I drill a 1/4-inch hole, about 1.5 inches from the top of these. And you know, someone once asked me, why do you do a 1/4-inch hole? Why don't you do a bigger hole? Well, first of all, it drains fine with a 1/4-inch hole, and if you're really worried, drill 2. But secondly, if I ever have to repurpose the bucket for something else, plugging up a hole this big is easy. Any type of glue, caulk, anything is going to be able to seal a hole this size. Where if I were to drill a drain hole this size, then it becomes a little harder if I have to repurpose the bucket, tub, whatever it is, for something else. So 1/4-inch seems to be enough to handle most water flows, 2 of them for sure. I have made myself a jig. And this jig, as you can see, has the holes filled out, so I know where to drill the holes around the center for my 3 posts. I just put it over, and I've got different circle sizes, different diameter circles in there because I have different types of cross members I use for this. So the 2 types of cross members I'm able to buy from Amazon easily, I think these are the 12 or 13-inch, and then these are the 11, and they're adjustable. And you can see there's one is definitely longer by about 1 inch, 1.5 inches than the other. The only reason why I bought these is these were on back order all across Amazon for a little while. These are my favorite one because I have 3 different sizes, and I can adjust. These are longer, and you only get 1 length. So because of that, when I drilled the holes on these, I had to basically specify which is which. You know, the number 2 is for these. I can do a perfect triangle every time, and my stuff will always fit. Hey, I'm back over here. I want to show you how I'm going to drill drainage holes for the air roots. And my little trick to getting this right, if we come in down here, I see right there is roughly where I want it. Careful not to get your drill in the water. I just drill that first hole, and now I see where the rest of my water line's going to be. And I just drill like 2 more. What you see over here are my drain holes. I got the water turned on, so it's still pumping it, but assume this was a rain. What'll happen is if it rains, I got all 3 holes now draining and not allowing the, well, basically making sure the air roots don't take in water when they're not supposed to. So I'll do this for all 3 buckets and keep going. Okay, what has happened here is my clip-on microphone, the battery died, so I'm gonna have to provide commentary after the fact. So there I'm putting on the round top, seeing if it fits, which it does, and now it's time to put the uprights into the round top of the wood that I cut. And these are the ones I cut and drove the nail through, so they won't push all the way through. 3 of them per wooden top is what I typically do, and then I create a triangle for trellising, and that's what you're seeing me do right here. And now I got to get the cross member pieces. Again, 3 just to get me going. You can stack as many cross members as needed as the plant grows. And that's what I'm doing here, is just doing the first triangle with the cross members. I prefer the adjustable flavor variety. Now I'm getting the clay balls that we use to put into the net pot to secure the roots. I soak them in water. There are the clay balls, and I'm ready to, I guess, about ready to transplant my first tomato plant into the net pot and then fill them up with the clay. There's a net pot I have. That'll be the first one I'm going to use. I'm going to select my first plant here. And I think I picked one of the nicer ones. It's pretty long. It's got a really good root structure, and that's obviously important for me to get this in. Now, one of the things I have to do here, and I believe what I'm showing here, is I want to cut out the middle circle. And the reason why I'm doing that, you'll see later in the video, I'm doing that so I can have the roots actually pass all the way through. Now I'm ready to put my roots in, and in go my roots, and I will pull them all the way through. And then I can put the net pot into the hole in the wood and then fill that up with clay. This takes a second sometimes. Roots to go all the way through to the bottom. And the plant is now ready to go into the wooden top, into the nutrient solution. And hopefully this will make my transplant go as expected. The plant will start thriving off of the nutrient solution in the tub as opposed to the NFT tube. On this particular plant, I'm going to have to trim some of the suckers that are at the bottom. And the reason why I'm doing that is the clay balls will obviously get in the way and they won't work as well. And now I'm clipping all the lower sucker vegetation off, so it's just the stems of the plant going into the net pot. Okay, at this point, I'm doing the uprights for the second one of these plants and getting the plant ready. I'm going to cut out the middle like I did before, and I'm going to put the roots through on this plant. You can see here I got a really nice root structure, a little thinner at the top than I would like, but hey, it's better than nothing, and it's going to hopefully help this plant make its transition over to the bigger crack key pots. Like before, I'm going to cut out the center of this net pot as well so I can push the roots through just like I did before using the snips here. In we go with the roots. Eventually I'll get them to, there they go. They're going through. Might have to help them a little bit. be careful and gentle when you're doing this. And eventually they go through, and now it's ready to go into the water. Again, nice roots on this guy as well. A little thin at the top, but it'll grow back. We should be fine. We go. This should be what the plant's looking for. He's going to have a new happy home here. And he's ready for some clay balls now. Again, I'm trimming away some of the lower suckers. Now I can get the clay balls out and start filling up those net pots with the clay balls. Fill them up, try to make sure the stem stays in the middle while I'm doing this. And try not to spill too many as I'm doing it. Now that the clay balls are filled up, I can take some clips and I can clip up the plant to the trellises, help them grow upward in the right direction here. That's what I'm doing in this part of the video. This is going to more or less sum up my gardening day for this Sunday. And at this part, I'm basically done with the video. I want to ask everyone to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. If there's any way you can do that, that helps me in the channel grow and I can make more videos. Sorry again about the audio on this. I had to make it after the fact, which I wasn't expecting to do. And I'm blabbing on here about something. I forget what actually, but the microphone battery died, so I had to make the audio after the fact. Now I get the joy of trying to figure out how to sync it all up. So again, if you can like and subscribe and you enjoyed watching the video today in this beautiful DC day, I appreciate that. You can see all 5 of them are now set up, ready to grow. They're in my sun belt part of my yard, so hopefully they'll get more sunlight than they were before. Hopefully they'll be able to set fruit faster with the additional sunlight. I guess time will tell, and who knows, maybe all 5 of these die. It'll be part of my daily checkups now, so we'll be able to track the progress of my transplanting these from the inside NFT downspout to here. I did something wrong, I made a mistake, I didn't do it right. That's what the comments are for, and I'd love to hear you. Even if you think I'm screwing up or I skipped some steps, I'm not an expert gardener, and I appreciate any comments, good or bad. People telling me if I'm doing it right, doing it wrong, maybe I'm helping someone else in the way they're trying to grow things, trying to grow hydro the first time. If any of this helps, like I said, like, subscribe, and comments. I appreciate them all. And thanks again for tuning in, and thanks again for watching.